morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello. I am on my morning walk. Then I'm going to go get waxed. Good times. And then I'm going to go to the dermatologist. Good times. And then I'm going to go to work. Oh, Angelique, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. You grieve, baby girl. You grieve. Anyway. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Amen, Connie Mays. Amen. So I am. So the burning in my mouth gets worse when there are strong smells, and there are very strong smells outside right now, which is making my mouth taste like nickels, which means the burning is coming, which sucks because yesterday was a very good day. And typically when it starts this early, it is not going to be a good fucking day. Anyway, good morning. So I want to talk to you about people who lack empathy and why you should stay so far away from them, because what they are battling internally is so exhausting and excruciating for them. They will throw it up all over you. And I want to give you an example of what I mean. Okay? So, yesterday I posted a picture of Michael and I from date night. And I shared the story about how Charlie's goldfish died yesterday. It was a long day. Sweet George had, goldfish bladder disease, according to my veterinarian. But, these days, people on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, they know more than the doctors. I mean, you don't even have to go to vet school now. You could just go on Facebook and treat animals. I FaceTimed my vet, and she was like, listen, there's no aquatic veterinarians around. Nobody's going to be able to do anything for the goldfish. She gave me some techniques to do with the net to try to lift him up, get him upright, help him move around so that whatever was lodged or blocked could be dislodged. I spent almost an hour trying to help the fish swim. The fish would not swim. Also, we had the fish for over 3 years, which is a great run for a goldfish from what I hear. And oh my God, I just choked on like a bug or something. I don't know how long goldfish live, but the experts on Facebook will let you know they could live, for a decade. I used to bring fish home from the Monmouth County Fair, and they would die 2 weeks after we got them. So I would say 3 years is a pretty good run. Either way, I felt terrible. I felt terrible for me because I was the one who took care of him, and, I kind of got used to having him around. And I felt terrible for Charlie because it was the first pet that she had for her. The dogs have always been my dogs, family dogs, but mine. Anyway, long story short, I shared the story with you last night. More as like there was a lesson for Charlie in, like, you don't want to cry. You don't fucking, Jesus H. Christmas. I can't stand these fucking bugs. I hate nature. Okay? I fucking hate nature. Anyway, Charlie didn't want me to help George cross over. It was to the point after I spent my entire morning trying to help him swim, trying to do all the things my vet, are you fucking kidding me? My vet told me to do and tried to get me to do and asked me to do. I had to take the kids to the dentist, and I said to Charlie, he's suffering, Charlie. He is on the bottom of the tank, on his side, sometimes upside down. He's not swimming. He's barely breathing. Like, what is the humane thing to do here? What should we do for him? And she was like, nothing. Nope. We're leaving him like that. I was like, okay, wait, let's talk about that. I know you don't want to be sad. You've been crying all morning. Is it fair to delay your sadness but prolong his suffering? And she was like, yep. I was like, okay. I'm going to let you sit with that decision for a little while. And it was it took everything I had not to help George cross over. The thought of leaving him upside down at the bottom of a tank for God knows how long until he passed was excruciating for me. But I needed Charlie to sit with her decision. When she got home from school, she FaceTimed me and she said, Mom, like I'm watching George and like every minute his gill moves. And I couldn't believe that this child was still going to try to hold on to an upside down fish on the bottom of a tank who had not moved since we left 8 hours earlier because the gill moved every 60 seconds. And I said, Charlie, I'm going to come home from work and we have some decisions to make. So I came home and we tried all of the things that the vet suggested that we try. And even when we got George to the top of the tank and got him flipped over right, I would try to help him, whatever. He would just flip upside down and sink to the bottom of the tank. It was fucking awful, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Some people are like, it's just a goldfish. I get it. If it wasn't mine, I'd probably be like, it's just a goldfish. But it was our goldfish, and we loved him. So I said to Charlie, this morning I gave you two options. One was full of empathy and would cause you to be uncomfortable, and one was selfish and would prolong his suffering, but would allow you to have a better day at school because technically he wasn't dead. We are here at a crossroad, Charlie, and you've got a decision to make, and I'm not going to make it for you. But if you can give me one good reason, just one, to keep George this way, that helps or benefits George, not Charlie, we will leave him this way and we will continue to try to lift him up and help him swim and all of the things. And she said, because I love him. And I said, that is for Charlie. And I love him too. But that is not for George. And George has been upside down for hours. And this is not humane anymore. Okay? And, not to get too philosophical, but I couldn't help but think about how many times we have relationships or situations or entanglements or jobs or friendships that have been upside down for hours. But we can't bring ourselves to end them because the pain will be too much to bear. So selfishly, we stay, and everybody suffers because we just won't do what is needed to be done. Don't get me started on hospice, because that's, end of life is so tricky and hard. But if I am suffering, y'all, send me to my maker. Do you know how excited and grateful I am? I am going to God. If I don't care if I believed I was going to that grass right there. If I believed it wholeheartedly and that's where I wanted to be and I was in pain or suffering, y'all don't have me. If Michael tries to have me out here on some life support shit, y'all better write him letters and say, let her go to be with her maker. And guess what? I believe in gracious goodbyes, personally. I don't need to suffer until God calls me home. No, I'm going to be all right. He's going to let me in. Don't worry. Don't leave me in pain. Don't leave me in... No. I don't want that, please. Me personally, if y'all want to suffer because you want to wait for the call, you go. I respect it. But George had had enough, okay? George had had enough. And I said to Charlie, we're going to take a walk, you and I, and we're going to cry this out. When we come back, we're going to help George cross over. My vet actually said putting him in the freezer is the most humane way for a fish to go. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I got to be honest. I do not know if I can put that boy in the freezer. And by the grace of God, okay, I think he was already dead when we went for the walk. But when we came back from the walk, there was no more movement outside of the filter. And George had passed on. And I think he was already passed on. And Olivia helped Charlie. They wanted to do it together. And they poured him down the toilet. And they flushed him goodbye. And, why do I tell you this whole story? Well, last night I wrote a post. And Michael and I always have a cocktail at date night. And I always post a photo of us and say, this is what I want to share. Is this okay with you? Because it's his life too. And he's always okay with the photos. And sometimes I'll say, I'd like to share this. And he'll say, no. And I'm like, okay, not my story to tell, fair. But usually he's like, whatever. Last night I was like, I want to talk about George and blah, blah, blah. And there were people in the comments who wrote things like, so you just killed him? So you just flushed him? Or if you had fed him frozen peas, he would still be alive. And Michael was chuckling because he was like, imagine getting on a social media platform. Now keep in mind, he's not on social media. He was like, imagine getting on a social media platform and shouting at a mother whose 10-year-old was crying all day, like, you didn't hand feed the dying goldfish fucking frozen peas, you shitty mom. And I was like, oh, you'd be amazed. He's like, I could never do what you do. These people are out of their minds. And I said, no, they're not out of their minds. They lack empathy. Truly, they lack empathy. First of all, in case you didn't know, there are goldfish experts right here in our very own Coffee Talk family who know exactly what to do when a goldfish goes belly up. I'm not one of them. I am not an expert. I'm not a veterinarian. But if you want to know what to do, you can find people shouting at me in my comments about how to take care of a goldfish. More importantly, if you are the person that reads the story I shared and thinks to say, well, Jamie, if I wanted to offer the information about the peas, how could I do it in a way that doesn't feel like I'm a lack of empathy actual piece of shit. Is there a better way to do it? Yes, Jan, there is. I'm so glad you asked. It goes like this. I'm so sorry for what you guys had to deal with today, what you went through with George. I imagine that was really sad for Charlie. Should you decide to get another fish, here are some options if this ever happens again. Oh my God. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for that. When you say things like, she didn't even try, you think it makes me look bad. You think it makes me look bad, except what you underestimate about the Coffee Talk community is these people are not new here. These people have been riding with me for years. You think they don't know me by now? The same woman whose dog died on a leash while she was walking him and had a heart attack in her arms and cried for months. The same woman who had to rehome her rescue because he bit my neighbor's child in the face. And I literally had to go to therapy over it because I was so torn about whether I made the right decision. The person who agonized forever about bringing a puppy into our home that had to be paid for and wasn't a rescue and was a different breed and like blah, blah, blah. The person who killed herself to make sure, even while she was traveling for work in South Africa and in New Jersey for 6 weeks, that the fucking goldfish from the fair was prioritized in her house and made sure that that fucking goldfish lived. You want to tell me I didn't try? And you think anybody in this community is going to listen to you? Let me tell you something. You lack of empathy. Miserable keyboard piece of shit. Not one person who knows me or follows me, even like they probably looked at your comment and was like, girl, you must be new here. And let me tell you something else. While you are doling out professional veterinarian advice on Facebook, had you offered it to me in a way that I could have received it, I would have been so grateful. I would have been so grateful because I actually do want to know if I have other options. I don't know why my veterinarian didn't offer that. I don't know why she didn't say, hand feed the fish frozen peas. Perhaps she saw something on the fish that she knew couldn't be saved, or perhaps she didn't know about the frozen peas, or perhaps she thought, even with the peas, this fish ain't gonna make it. I don't know. But I trust doctors and medicine and scientists, and I am absolutely open to suggestions, by the way. It doesn't mean that because I trust medicine and doctors and all of that, that I wouldn't listen to someone on Facebook who was like, listen, I went through this. This is excruciating. I love fish. Clearly, if you know how to save a belly-up goldfish, hand feeding them frozen peas, you are a fish person, right? You're a fish person. So why not lead with that? Why not say, hey, I'm a fish person. I love fish, and I would like to offer some help. For next time, if you get another fish, I'm sorry I couldn't help with George. Why not be that person? Anyway, long story short, you are a reminder of who I never hope to be again. And people who lack empathy, I don't know how miserable and exhausting that existence must be for you. I don't know why you're not seen in your own life and why you need to come at people on social media to try to be seen there. It makes me sad for you. I'm not going to pray for you right now because I got a lot of shit to pray about. So, I can't pray for you today. So, you don't get prayers from me today. But I do feel sorry for you. But I got to pray for other people right now. Anyway, so I love you. You guys, truly. And to anybody who has learned empathy through Coffee Talk, which, by the way, I have. Me, hands up, I'm your girl. I've been riding this wave for 7 years, and I have learned empathy. I still make a lot of mistakes. I have learned to be the person that's like, I know this woman is not going on and on about a goldfish. She cannot still be talking about a goldfish. That was me 7 years ago. I was like, oh my my God, this woman is talking about a damn goldfish. Could somebody flush that damn fish and move on? Now I'm like, oh my gosh. There was probably responsibility learned with that goldfish. There was a name chosen for that goldfish. There was money invested in that goldfish. Family pictures taken with that damn goldfish. Like, I would imagine that at the end, this is hard for everybody, and I am truly sorry for your loss. Not just the loss of the actual fish, but the loss of what that shared responsibility brought to your family. That's what I have learned about empathy. Is it's not the way I view the situation. Oh, you gonna cry about a goldfish? No. What Charlie was mourning was not just the fish, but just the whole, like, this is part of our unit. This is what we do together, and we feed the fish, and we change his tank, and Daddy helps, and Olivia helps, and it's a thing we share. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what we're mourning here. We're not mourning, I mean, yes, the goldfish, of course, but also something bigger than that. And that is what we learn with empathy, and that is where we win, and that is where we find common ground. And maybe you never had a goldfish, but maybe you have something in your house that is shared. Plants, a garden, fucking, I don't know, a cat, whatever. I don't have to like cats to understand what goes into having a family cat. And like having the cat die and understanding like, wow, there is a part of your family that has changed now. Your dynamic is different. I am sorry about that. I know how to express empathy. God is working on me, y'all. God is working on me. I'm telling you. He loves me. He will not forsake me. It is October 1st. It is officially my birthday month, so get ready to be smothered and covered like a Waffle House order with my birthday stuff. Look at this handsome guy. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Look at that tail. Oh, hello. Are you sweet boy? Are you a sweet boy? Okay. Don't make it. What's up, my Libras? October Libras, it's our season. Let's go. I love you. Have a great, great day.